All right, what are we getting into today? Bro, this side quest thing that I've been going on is actually kind of crazy. Fable is goated. I wonder what my usage is right now because I am almost positive that there's no way I'm getting to the end of the month. Oh shoot, on just the $100 plan with Fable at least. It's either fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know which yet, that Fable is going away in, on the 22nd. Let's see what my usage is right now. Settings, usage, 20 for today. It's like 4 hours, dude. This is going to get eaten up so quickly. And then 20% for the week. And it's only Thursday. So we're probably going to have to upgrade, boys. I'm not even going to lie about it. Which I don't hate. $200, you could probably crush through that, to be honest. But yeah, we embarked on a side quest, kind of. It's still on the main quest of Launch Soku, right? Helping people, myself too, right? I'm building this for myself, and then other people might want to use it in tandem. But feature dev alignment. So if I get checkout stage, get pull, bummer. That's a bummer. That's already on that. Get checkout main, rip. Launch Soku Codex. Well, we could just do PM dev. Right, so the main goal is to just build out this platform for myself and then build my SaaS on top of it, obviously. Oh shoot, now I don't remember what this is. Is it 3001? 3000? No, 3001? So I changed something about this for a reason. So this right now, we'll go E. Right now, so I'm building this for myself, right? And so the idea was like, okay, there's lots of solo founders, technically adept or otherwise, that may or may not know how to get stuff up and running, what good architecture looks like. And so I'm building something that's very opinionated, right? Like my preferred stack for a lot of the SaaS applications that I've built in the past, ranging from, yo, what up, Caloric? Yeah, of course I remember you, dog. You're in here like almost every day, dude. I appreciate you pulling up. But yeah, so building this app to where people can clone it and then hopefully get their project up and running in what was before I was hoping like half a day. And then I was like, you know what? I could probably automate a lot of the deployment pipeline stuff as long as people who clone this repo, enter in their API keys and have their CLI stuff kind of dialed. And so I created like this wizard, right? And this is a desktop app. I don't know if it'll continue to be a desktop app, but I'm doing it for myself because it's kind of like a journey. You can't say goodnight because it's like 8 in the morning and I haven't slept the whole night. Oh, damn, dog. You've been grinding all night, bro? Hey, well, I appreciate you pulling up, dude. Get some rest. Hopefully your night was productive. I think mine's going to be super productive. But thanks for pulling up, dude. I appreciate you. So once I got done with like the scaffolding, I'll just give you like the overview of how I got here and building something that many people have told me is similar to this thing called BridgeMind or BridgeSpace or something. I've never downloaded the app myself, but along my journey of building this, I was like, okay, I got to a point where I was the bottleneck in building out the features that I wanted and having to wait. And then so I started doing what most devs do and opening a new VS Code window and making a new work tree for that window and coding 2 different features inside of a single terminal, right? Because like with Git, you can do different branches, but if you're on your computer, if you check out a new branch, the only thing Git sees is if you check out a new branch, is that your entire computer is on a new branch, unless you use work trees. So work trees are like a branch, like a whole new repository folder off of a specific branch. And for the most part, you'll just want to branch off of, or you'll want to create a new work tree off of main. And then so you can PR into stage, or you can PR into wherever after that. And so what I found myself doing a couple times was opening VS Code, a whole window, and then opening a new one. And so you can see if I go into new open folder, it could probably be a folder from recent actually. Open from recent. I have Launch Soku work trees and Launch Soku Codex because I was trying to do 2 features the same feature with 2 different LLMs, right? Which turned out to be kind of a nightmare because I couldn't test them locally at the same time. And so, which was a bummer. So that was like the first thing that happened. And then there was a lot of like conflicts and all this stuff. And so I had this idea, and maybe this was how Bridge Space or whatever it's called, Bridge Mind, was built. Again, I've looked at like his multi-terminal thing, but I don't know how it works under the hood. But this is how I envisioned it. Is, okay, say I'm working on, say I'm the bottleneck, right? As a software engineer, I'm the bottleneck for new features because I can only physically work on one feature at a time. And even if I wanted to work on more than one feature, I have to open all these new windows, right? But what if I had this workspace that had all my projects in it, that all aligned with my SaaS architecture, and that I could create new work trees and potentially, what can I do? Why isn't this? Let me get rid of this one. Okay, that's broken, but and potentially code different features in parallel. So that's kind of like what got this idea going. So right now, if I wanted to start a whole new project based on this landing page, right? Like a whole new SaaS app that has all the tools, all the stuff, I would have to clone the repo, put in all the API keys, do all the deployments. But now in here, and it's very rough scaffolding of this, but we'll go through all these steps, and it's basically just adding in your name, the domain that you have, where you want it to be, a version of the template, which this is just dev for right now because that's all I have provisioned. Your license key, once you obtain a license for this, and then go through the scaffolding and services, et cetera, et cetera. So I did this for like the mock one for this thing called Variant AI or whatever. It's just like something I kind of came up with. Okay, those don't work. But yeah, so I could potentially code a bunch of different features in here in parallel. So what I want to add in here right now is, because I don't want to work in this as its own project, instead of this button forcing people to go through and clone a whole new version, I want it to be 2 different buttons, because I actually want to get this project, that like this Build Soku project, into this sandbox build Soku application so I can work on it all at once and have a couple different things going at once. And the cool part about that, well, this one might be a little different because it's not localhost. So I couldn't work on this and see the changes that I'm making to it in real time. Because the cool thing about doing it with a project like Variant or a project like Launch Soku is I set up the local emulators to where they're all on their own. And so, like, let me show you real quick. Yeah, well, potentially I could just do this. So when you start a new work tree, it goes on its own feature branch. And so I can just start this from in here. And maybe it'll start up. This is like, I just started working on this like last night. So there's probably some bugs in here. Okay, so those are up. But anyways, let's just go here. And so this doesn't look too great. Obviously, there's some improvements that need to be done. But anything I do in here on this branch I'll be able to see the differences in this window, right? And then same thing in here. If on a different branch, I can start this one. These will be, hopefully this has changed to 3001 because that's what I told it to do. Let's see what it does. Because it defeats the purpose if they're all on this. Okay, 3002, that's perfect. So it changed it. It goes through and sees which ones are available. And yeah, so now it's ready. So it goes through and sees which ports are available and then just pins it to those. And so this one will probably change to 5002 in a second, hopefully, if it's working correctly. And so I can make a change in here on this branch and do something that's unrelated to a change I make in this one and like see the results live, right? Obviously this is a very terrible UI and I need to figure out a way to make it different and better. But basically you have, this desperately needs to change to 5002 if all this is working correctly. But now I can go start, not dissimilar to a bunch of the different ones that are popping up out there. Claude. Skip. Missions. So let's start this in here and let's just see what it can do in here. Because I'm just curious. Change the header from Variant AI is an active deployment. Join the wait list for updates. Get notified to fun features coming soon. Let's like a super simple change. Obviously I could do that myself, but to test out this functionality, Claude. Permissions. And then this one I'll change it to something else, right? I'll change it to, I want to copy this and paste it to change it to, this is on localhost 3002. These changes should be isolated. Okay, so that one changed. This is actually super cool. If I can figure out a cool UI for this to where it's obviously not a tiny visual area right here, this could be insane for rapid degen vibe coding. And I say degen loosely because it's like if you have a good project repository baseline, that has really good infrastructure as far as like unit tests, end-to-end tests, coding guidelines, agent skills, plugins, all that stuff, you should be able to vibe code features pretty quickly. And obviously if you're doing stuff in parallel, there's going to be like branch conflicts and stuff when you get into Git. But so like this is actually perfect example of why this is, how this could be pretty useful. And I never, I saw different tools out there like this and I wasn't really sure how they were useful, to be honest. And that was my own ignorance, to be honest, because like I'm coming from like classic software dev. Like I haven't only been coding with AI. So like I know standard best practice and I think my mind defaults to that. And for one developer to work on more than one feature at a time, like in a day, normal developers don't work on more than one feature at a time, right? Or more than a couple bugs at a time. And at a time, meaning that very loosely, meaning like a developer's doing one thing at a time, maybe a couple things a day if the one thing gets completed before the other. But in a world of AI where code is being written autonomously, via prompts and stuff, you can do it much faster. And the bottleneck is now you, right? And there's opinions on whether or not the developer or the person who is prompting should like know the code that's going into it or not know. In my opinion, if you have good folder structure, good security settings already in there, if you have good unit tests, good end-to-end tests, good deployment pipelines, feature gating, good safeguards within your app to begin with, like why not? Like why can't you code 2 features in one day? Like who's the authority to tell you that the piece of mail that you're sending to your friend, which are your end users, should be via USPS and not via email? This is an analogy. Like why do we have to write out with our hands the code that's being shipped to our end users? And so thinking about that, thinking ahead to the product that I want to build that I already have like V0 of ready, right? And I have literally like 25 features that I want to build. Stage.mysoku.is/dashboard. This app for me personally is like sandbox kind of, and like not ready for public users, which is fine. And I want to build it on top of what I've already built, like in front of everyone for the past 29 days. I want to build it on this stack and move away from the stack that I built this on. This is just like, I did this pretty quick, right? And so I have literally like 25 or 30 different features that I want to build into this product on this stack that I have ready. And so, like, why couldn't I knock out 4 or 5? Let's just say 2. Let's just say 2 of those in one day in parallel, right? Not waiting for the one to be finished and then doing the other one. Why can't I do 2 terminals like this, right? Just click 2 instead. 2 terminals like this. And then say I want to build the dashboard and I want to have platform ranking and I want to have the post activity, right? And obviously give it guidelines for what that is and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. But so that's kind of why I built this. And Well, actually, the first reason I built this is to get people to be able to use this project architecture quickly, like literally within 15 minutes. You can have all of this on your machine and deployed in the cloud, like on Vercel, on Railway, on Neon Postgres. If you have all those accounts set up already, like if you have accounts at those different places, Vercel, Neon, Stripe, PostHog, Cloudflare, kind of, Railway, GitHub, Sentry. All right. The hard part is literally just signing up for these services and getting the API keys for everything, getting the authentication tokens. And so the idea is one could use this project setup wizard and go through and name your project, add the domain, put in the license key for, build Soku or whatever, run up the scaffolding, connect the services, connect it locally, deploy them to the cloud, and you're done. And you have a working version. Okay, that's a bug. Is it all these? Yeah, I don't know. This is a bug, but anyways, a working version of this, and then 4001. Oh shoot. Localhost 4001. Is that gonna work? I'm not sure actually. No, 4000. Yeah. A working version of this, and you add in your own features and stuff and change your styles and all that stuff within 15 minutes. And I need to do a better job of showing everything that Launch Soku has, because it's actually the tits. But yeah, it's actually kind of insane. It's kind of insane how quickly we can do things now. Because I made this literally. You can look yesterday's stream. It got cut off actually. I probably did this for about 2 hours maybe, and then today, before the stream, I should have started streaming it earlier, but I needed to go to the gym. I did the rest of this in about an hour and a half maybe. So some cool features in here. One thing I want to add right now, because like the plus button only goes through the setup wizard to clone a whole new repo from Launch Soku. But I want to be able to, well, first I need to fix these bugs. But I want to be able to, what do I want to be able to do? Oh, click this and choose new project or add repository or something like that. So you can add like a local repository to this if you wanted to. So, but there's a couple bugs in here, so we'll crush some of those bugs right now. I'm not going to be a full degen and add new features before we fix like these big UI type bugs. So let's go in here and try and understand them. So if I'm on 8 and then I go, well, actually, let's fix this one first. And for this, since it's all in local development and on one branch, I can actually just do it locally. So I'm going to do I'm going to do Codex for one of them actually. Codex. I can't remember what the Codex one is for. That doesn't matter. Codex. Are you serious? Skip until... okay, we'll update it. Why not? The only reason I'm using Codex is because these are like smaller bugs and I don't want to eat up my Fable Claude tokens. And I already pay for Codex anyways. Just the $20 version. So I'll just kind of tell it what's going on. In the Build Soku projects UI, the X buttons on the agent terminals, or the feature branches or the worktree branches, are clickable, but they do not close the window. It should close the window, and it should close the window. There's so many edge cases that you can think of, right? So right now what happens when you add a new work tree, and I'm just gonna assume that everyone knows what a work tree is. If you don't, feel free to ask in chat. But what happens when you start a new work tree is it starts a new work tree and then immediately goes to it starts a new branch locally, right? And branches are cheap. Workspaces aren't particularly cheap. They do take up some memory, but branches are free basically memory wise. And so just for not getting in the weeds on different terminals or different work trees being on the same branch, it defaults to feature WT1 work tree 1, but users can go in here and change it to a feature, a chore, or a fix. And I could add more in here if I wanted, like a docs or refactor or something like that. There's some standard ones that most software shops use, but from my experience, it's mostly feature, chore, fix, or feature, chore, bug, or whatever your naming convention is, and then / which just means this is a folder, and then the feature name or the bug name or whatever. So anyways, where was I going with that? Yeah, so anyways, you can come in here and do, let's just say chore, update, landing page, and save it. Now it automatically created that branch, and so any change we make in here, well, it renamed it, but it didn't change it in here, so we're gonna have to make it do that. So this is where you see the actual branch that it's on. So that's another bug. Again, I did this in literally 3 hours. So y'all are seeing me build this in real time. So if you're expecting like a polished result like right now, go to a different channel because we're doing this right now. And for what it's worth, this is built in. This is Tari. So, and I don't know too much about Tari. Obviously I know that it's React under the hood. But as far as like desktop apps, this is kind of new space for me. I'm a web developer, primarily front end, but I have done back end infrastructure, CI/CD pipelines, end-to-end testing, all that stuff too. But so I don't know. This is like a learning journey for myself, and hopefully it'll help people learn along the way as well. So that was the first one. This is actually a pretty big one, so I'm going to do that next. When a user opens or starts a new work tree and it defaults to feature / WT -n, meaning the nth work tree in the window, we have the capability of letting the users rename the branch, but when they click save, it does not do a new checkout of that branch. It just renames it in the UI. When the user chooses a folder type and then a branch name and then click save, it should not only save it in the UI, but it should also change the terminal connected to that work tree to that branch name. So let's see if Fable is Gucci on that. So Codex is pretty slow on this, to be honest. Like, all I asked it to do was make these X buttons work, which is kind of crazy. Like, right? Is that what I asked it to do? Just to make sure I'm not crazy. Build Soku project. Yeah, the X buttons. All I asked it to do was make these X buttons work, which is kind of crazy. so, I mean, and since this is just you kind of like UI stuff, and we're all in, like, this is just active development. So for now, we can open new terminals. Oh, this is all in launch Soku. Oh wait, I'm doing this in the wrong project, dude. I'm so silly. Hold on, let's stop. So funny, dude. I was in launch Soku the whole time. What an idiot. Don't clip that. Alright, that's why I was probably having a hard time. It's like, what are you talking about? Let's make sure there was no changes in there. Yeah, no, we're chilling. So this is GPT Claude. Let's go ahead and clear this. And clear this. In the Build Soku project view, there are X's on the worktree cards. Currently they don't work. It does not close that worktree card. It needs to close the card, and if the preview is currently running, it needs to stop the preview before the card closes and somehow indicate that the previews have closed or shut down, and then it closes the card. In the project view for the worktree cards, it defaults to feature/wt-nth version of the worktree in that space. Users are able to rename the branch from the UI, being feature, chore, fix, and then the branch name itself. When it clicks save, it saves to the UI, but it does not change the branch within the agent terminal. When the user chooses to name their branch and then click save, it should not only save in the UI, but also change the branch on that worktree to their new branch naming convention. What I want to do is, instead of it being like so tiny in here, because like these are running in parallel, right? And so I can go to like the marketing page and again see the changes that were made on this work tree. And now that I'm thinking about it, the reason, oh shoot, that's a bug too. This will show back up, but the reason it probably didn't change is because, oh, well, I just updated it. Just kidding. I was going to say the reason why it didn't change is because there was active, if I do get status, there's active changes in it. So yeah. I don't know if I want the recents in here. I feel like it's nice to see, nice to have, and maybe you could like go through and look at the history. That would be a lot of information. But for now, we'll just keep them in here. And then, yeah. What I'm thinking though is there's this UI package thing called React Bits, and there's one where there's a card on it, and the card is like flippable. Docs, browse components. It's like a flippable card or something. Animations, components, reflective card? I don't think that's right. Jeez, no. No. Card nav stack, no. Model, that's the model viewer. Profile card, is that it? Or you can like flip it? Can I go to the other side? Show user info? No. There's one where you could like flip it. Spotlight card? No. Also, someone used this in a UI recently, and I saw it, and I knew it was this one. Their components are really sick. If you've never visited this website, it's called reactbits.dev, and all these are free. I mean, it's open source. Obviously, you can go pro, but card swap? No. I could have sworn that there was one in here that was like, you could flip it and see the backside of it. But that's what I was thinking for this. It's either a maximize to where it takes up the whole view, or you flip it and you see all this stuff on the backside of it to where it's like, okay, you'll make some changes in here and it'll be working. And it's like, oh, go view your changes. And then you flip it and then go look at the website. Obviously, because this is so small and like no one wants to view this. So, because that's the thing with agentic coding or vibe coding or whatever you want to call it. It's like you're still gonna want to see the changes before you push to any environment, right? Like whether it's a dev environment on the cloud or staging or whatever. Like I don't think anyone is pushing to remote without seeing the changes first. And if you are, it's just a bad workflow. Like if you're working on 4 different features in tandem, well, let's just say like this was big. Also, we should be able to like make these bigger. Like you could potentially be working on different API endpoints at the same time. Like say you have an idea for 5 different API endpoints that you want to offer to your either internal or external, which is also a part of Launch Soku. Shameless plug. Like you could just be like, hey, build me this API endpoint with this data structure, and it'll obviously ask you some questions around it. And then you could go over here and ask it to do another API endpoint and whatever. So I don't know, there's so many different features that I'm thinking about for this. That's actually super interesting. Recommended design. Close card, never delete a work tree. If a preview is running. Okay, the root cause is X currently tries to delete the work tree and it may not be disabled by git state. It does not perform session close orchestration. Recommended design. Close the card only after successful shutdown. If shutdown fails, keep the card open and show an error. Closing also unmounts the terminal. Yeah. Yes. Let's go in here, create another one of these. What's that website? There's a website where it shows like where do I have this? Excalidraw, where it shows, oh, I did it on something else. Let's do that real quick while we're here. Let's just do Codex for this one and see what happens. piece of view. Proof. Let's just like speed run this real quick. Instead of having the preview in the front view of the worktree card, I want to make the worktree card flippable, meaning on the front side, it's just the branch name, the branch renaming feature, and then the agent terminal, and obviously the X button for closing it out. And then there should be a button on there for like a flip or view or something to where it flips the card around and you like look at the back part of it or something like that. Basically just changes the view. Maybe it should be tabs instead. Tabs might be more logistical. Let's do tabs. And so you can change the tab, and instead of like the agent terminal view, it's the preview view, so that you have more area to look at versus it being all cluttered up like this. Yeah, the tab view is going to be better, actually. Like, yo, what up? Yo, what up, Noah? What's good, dog? Yes, proceed. The worktree folder keeps the original name. The specs owner's decision that saves the switches to the branch in place. Moving the directory would break the live terminal and the dev server if your shell prompt shows the folder name rather than the git branch. It will still say feature W1 after rename. The branch itself is renamed. One small edge I noticed. Wait, really? So if this one's not started and I change this, if I change this name to chore fix UI bug, I want this to change immediately, right? Because it's going to change right here, or one of these. I don't know which one it is. Save. But this doesn't inspire confidence that this didn't change. But if I do clear, if I clear this, it probably will. Yeah. As soon as the user clicks save on a branch name and it changes it to something unique for the first time, it should automatically change the terminal view to that new branch name. If there's already been work done on that branch, we can consider disabling the save button entirely because they're on a new branch and everything would be lost. But if there's no work completed on the default branch, if the user chooses to name the branch and then saves it, it should not only save it in the UI, but also change the branch in the terminal as well. This is imperative, very important. Had some hard work done today. Hell yeah, dude. Hope that's a good thing. No, I would not. This is actually a cool feature in Codex that I haven't seen in Claude yet. Would you like to use the visual companion for this? Basically, it uses something like Playwright under the hood and kind of points to stuff and shows you where it's thinking about changing it. Yes, definitely. But yeah. Also, I was playing around with different logos earlier. Obviously, this is just the default Tari one. But for anyone that doesn't know, Soku means immediately in Japanese. Or immediate or immediately. Kind of same. And so that's kind of like the brand that I'm going with. Launch Soku is like launch your SaaS immediately. build Soku is build your SaaS immediately, kind of like in this. Yeah. The SaaS that I want to build, I call it Soku. I call it immediately, but I'll probably change it to like post Soku or something like that to be on brand. This was just like my original idea. My Soku was the only domain available, unfortunately. I tried to buy Soku.io, but someone's squatting on it, and I offered him. I bid on it, and it's a whole story behind it. There's actually multiple bids going back and forth, and he just kept going up. Like, he didn't come down at all. And so at the end, it was just like two or three times, but at the end, he went from 14K, which I may have even paid for, to 43K or something like that. And I was like, you know what, dude? Seriously, F off. Like, I want to say like the first bid that I did was like $400, and he came back with, I want to say he came back with like 4,900, which hindsight, I should have just bought that. And then I went back and was like, okay, not 400, and I offered something in the low thousands, like 1,700 or 1,900 or something. Right? I was trying to deal, and he came back and put it like 12,900, and I was like, damn it. And so then I offered him his original higher offer, which was like 4,900 or something like that. And I was like, yo, I'll just buy this. Like, this is I offered him the price that he originally quoted me or whatever. And then he put it to 42,000. And I was like, you know what, dude? That was a dick move. Super pissed about it. So I bought my Soku instead. Anyways, Soku.io would have been sick. Alas. All right, let's see what's going on here. Let's see which one's finished. Should the tab selection be session only with every card defaulting to terminal after relaunch? Wait, what? The terminal can remain mounted and hidden, so it's... Yeah, for sure. Terminal by default, and remember it's selection only for the current app session or persist. Wait, what? The terminal can remain mounted and hidden, so its PTY and scrollback survive tab switches. For tab state, should each card open on terminal by default? And remember its selection only for the current app session? Or persist the selected tab across app relaunches? App relaunches? I don't know what an app relaunch is. I recommend session only. Should tab selections be session only with every card defaulting to terminal after relaunch? We'll just say, what is an app relaunch? What's an app relaunch? I don't know what that is. Hey Chase, howdy partner. We got absolute faith in your stack and where you're taking this rig. You know the architecture inside and out, so just keep pushing the code. It's going to deploy clean and run. Hey, I appreciate that, dog. I appreciate you. Thank you, bro. An app relaunch means closing build Soku and opening it again. I recommend the card's default to terminal after reopening the app. Tab choices are only remembered. Yeah, that's fine. Yes to that question. Yeah, that's a weird question, but maybe it's being thorough. This is a refresh button, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Does option 1 look right? Full width terminal preview tabs directly below the branch renaming controls. I think it should be above it, but I think it should be like over here. That settles the state behavior, the remaining layout choices where the tabs live. Below the branch controls, full width, clear separation, persistent, card header and branch. Inside the card header, more compact but competes with branch name, get actions, and close. Get actions. There's no get actions in here, dude. Oh, unless I need to restart the app, which is probably true. I think I need to restart the app real quick. PNPM install. PNPM dev. Don't mind my Thai music. This guy slaps, actually. It's so good. Are you used in projects voice agents? I'm digging in to make RAG chat agent. So, also talking head real time. Oh, nice. It does have it. I just had to reload. That's what I did right before I went to the gym. Okay, so that makes sense. Where do y'all think the tab should live? I don't foresee anyone. I think it should live in the header, like right in the center aligned, and then do this and this space between. That's what I like more. I like option 2 the most, and make them in center aligned, you know, between the branch name and the commit message or the commit button, and make this space justified space in between, so they always go to the middle. I've done a voice agent before. I did it through 11 Labs though, so I haven't rolled a custom one. I did a voice agent that was built with 11 Labs, and it was kind of like a flow of questions more than RAG, so not particularly. Talking head in real time would be insane. All right. A parallel Claude session is mid-flight on the close lifecycle work in the same file. See, this is where the work trees come into play. I also recorded the decision, a spec amendment. Picks them up via hot reload. So I have to do it again. What was this prompt? I don't remember. Save on a branch name. Okay, let's go try that real quick. What was this one? See, this is a problem for me as a dev. It's like I only have 3 terminals open right now, right? Which is not a lot. And I love this. Thank you. But I don't think it has any changes on it. Oh, yes, it does. I'm wrong. Yeah. Okay, that one's locked. Can we just do 4 for now? And let's go fix preview non non-responsive. Preview non-responsive. So I should click save here, and it should change the branch down here. Nice. So it's on this work tree. Yeah. The cleanup of work trees might be an issue, but we'll tackle that when we get there. Yo, what up, Quigago? Bro, I think I ran into also Passion, whatever you just wrote, it was redacted. Oh, you deleted it. I forgot about that. I thought that YouTube does that. No, Quigago. Dude, I think I'm going back on what I said earlier about multi-terminal UI coding workspaces, because I don't know if you were in here the other day or if it's someone else. I think it was you and one other lad, actually. I think it was Tolly. And we were talking about like building features and stuff. And obviously, this is a big experiment for me, to be honest. I'm kind of thinking in my head. If you have an app and you have an idea and you have like really good project architecture and you have good coding infrastructure, you have unit tests, you have deployment pipelines, you have end-to-end tests, like you have a really solid project architecture, right? And you have like a list of features that you want to start building. The problem with like traditionally, if you have a lot of features in the pipeline, right, in the backlog or whatever, the only way traditionally to get products shipped faster are to hire more devs, right? The more devs, the bigger the shop, the more the features, the more rapid that you can do deployments and all that stuff. And the bottleneck before was deployment pipelines, right? How quickly can we deploy these validated with, unit tests, end-to-end testing, regression testing, QA, manual, automated, all that stuff. But like, we're getting to a point where a lot of that can be automated off the rip. Dude, what? Left, branch name, center. Yes. Dude, that's literally what I just said. Just do it. So yeah, the bottleneck now is capacity. And if, obviously like, there needs to be some quality control as far as like the quality of code that's being written. So like, I don't think that everything should be hands off, but for indie hackers or for solopreneurs or whatever, what's keeping them from shipping more features? What's keeping them from building a bigger product? It's just capacity. So anyways, the other day I was actually working on the same feature, and I wanted to test it between Codex and Claude, and I wanted to give it the same prompt, have it do the same thing. And so I opened two different work trees, but then I had the issue of when one of them was done, I had to like switch work trees, switch branches locally, start new terminals for each of them, and then screenshot the one, go close the dev server, start the other one, view it. Dude. Yes. and then review them side by side after I did all that. So I was thinking, instead of your static dev ports, you can make them dynamic to where you can have two parallel work trees. Like these are two parallel work trees, and I can click start on this one. Well, if it works now. Yeah. Start on this one. And this one will boot up in 3000 and whatever the closest available port is. And then this one should start up on the next closest. So it'll probably start up on 3002, 4002, 5002, etc. It might take a minute. I need to do some UI loading states in here instead of it just being immediately available, so that you can review the changes that you've just made in real time. And I'm working on the UI right now. That's what this one's doing. So yeah, 4002. Let's do the marketing one. So this one's what I changed in this one. I changed both of the headings, and so I should do this one too. So this one will be 3003 probably. Just wait a second. 3003, yeah. Just give it a minute. All right, so this is an unchanged branch. So this is what it is normally right here. And then this is a change. I don't know why it's not highlighting. Maybe it is, but you just can't see it. This one's a change on this work tree and this feature branch. And this is a change on this work tree and this feature branch. So potentially, if you're not working on features that are very, very similar, that touch this the same areas of the app, if you're working on totally different features that have on a bug, for example, if you're working on a bug in this one, a feature in this one, and then a deployment pipeline in this one or something, you could potentially do it and test the API or whatever in real time. And I was thinking of making it to where there's a Postman style API testing UI implementation in here, which would be kind of sick. I don't know. What do you think about that? I feel like you're the resident as far as in my chat. Even if you're still here, I don't even know if you're still here, Quigago. But I feel like you're the resident expert when it comes to standard best practice as far as true software engineering goes. So I'd be curious to get your thoughts on this in regards to that yap maxing that I just did. Christ, that was very long-winded now that I'm thinking about it. I think it's just going that way. Yeah. So at the place that I work at, and if anyone wants to do any digging, you can go ahead and do it. It's whatever, I don't care. I'm not trying to hide my identity or anything, but I'm not going to tell you. So I'm a web guy, obviously, but we have a mobile app team too. And before, it was a very large team we call them pods. So it's each pod is in control of a specific domain of the application. And so there's stay pod, there's booking, I'm giving away lots of evidence where I work, but there's marketing, there's obviously back end, we call them Core Plus. Anyways, before there was like 9 people on a pod. We've since, or that team, like the mobile team, have since let go all the designers. So like all the designers, like 20 people got let go earlier last year. There was an iOS developer. There was an Android developer. There was 2 QA people per pod. There was an accessibility guy that was on the pod. Short story long. They've since like all this AI stuff, and we have really good workflows and stuff like that, and like guidelines on how to use AI and all this stuff. On the mobile teams, there's 1 developer now. Before, and they coded it all in Swift, so it's all native apps, so it's not React Native or any other package like Flutterflow or whatever, or Flutter. So the iOS devs are Swift devs, and the Android devs are Kotlin devs. But since AI and all this stuff, the iOS devs do both. Previously, the iOS devs only, they're now doing both Android and iOS, and just going off of their product or their coding knowledge of I just blanked, Swift, and then just like kind of figuring out Android as they kind of go along with just prompting it and stuff. And they're cranking out features. I don't know how long it will be till users' agents can't really deal with UI and human workflows, but maybe it's kind of the point. Big tech wants everything to be a chatbot. Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion, I feel like. Well, it's not really a discussion, but and we're training them how to do it while paying them subs. Yeah, that's true. About the UI part and human workflows and stuff like that, I think that's a huge piece of how software is going to change in the future. Like we're not like UIs are like for, I don't know B2C, but B2B, I think a lot of UIs are going to go away, and it's going to be data driven, right? A lot of it's going to be data driven, and you'll have like MCPs or something, a new technology similar to MCPs or APIs or whatever, where you can access the data just via questions, right? And actually something that I want to do, and this will probably tickle your fancy or suit your fancy or something, Quigago, as far as like future thinking. This is one thing that I think is going to be huge, and something I want to do for my SaaS actually is, and I don't have a term for it yet, and I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Someone probably has, because I think if anyone knows where the future is going, they're thinking about this. UI, in the way that we know it, like a dashboard, for example. I don't want to say dynamic, and I don't want to say static. Obviously, this is a dynamic dashboard where like these numbers change dynamically, right? And obviously the sizing changes based on mobile responsiveness. But I can foresee all of this going away. Maybe you'll have some examples. But I can foresee all of this kind of going away, and there being like a chat box right here, and being like, how do you want to visualize your data? And like no component libraries, well, maybe component libraries under the hood for like styling and stuff like that. Beautiful. I love this. Yeah, this was the right call for sure. Maybe component libraries under the hood for like general styles. But instead of like having this as a set component, right? Like the platform rankings, them saying, hey, generate me a view, or like I'm trying not to use dev terms. Show me what my platform rankings are for all of my connected accounts. And it would come up with something like this on the fly that they can save. They can save whatever it generates. And the next time they pull up to the website, it'll show them this, right? They don't have to prompt it again. It saves it to the app code in a database of, let's say in React terms, like it's a div or something with the prop of dangerously set inner HTML. You're probably familiar with that if you're a front end guy. And so it saves it all this stuff as HTML with props and obviously dynamically fed information into it. But like this as a component that a dev created, like right, that I wrote, is gone. And it's all up to the user to decide how they want to view the data that we're collecting for them. That's where I think this is going. That was really long-winded. I need to work on how, like, conveying my thoughts more succinctly. Yes. Also, I appreciate every single one of you for smashing that like button so gently. It means a lot. It means a lot. Oh, dude, I gotta piss. Not good. Speaking of paying them with subs. Speaking of paying people with subs, I saw, and this is not new. I've seen other posts like this. But like these AI companies are paying people to do everyday tasks while recording videos to like train robots on how humans do things. And I'm like, dude, do you want to have a job in 5 years? Like, don't do that. Like for the low level tasks that they're like flipping burgers, for example. If you pull up to McDonald's and you see someone recording how they flip burgers and they don't have like the sense to know that like, okay, you're getting paid to do this right now, but in 5 years you'll be irrelevant and you'll have to find a new skill, which I think that everyone should do anyways. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, help. I'll pay you to help me train someone who's going to replace you. That's like when someone hires a manager, like at a company, and it's like, hey, teach him everything you know, knowing that he's going to take your job and they're going to fire you in 6 months. That's brain dead to me. Yeah, I've seen it discussed. It's probably not far off. Yeah, I think that we're close. I'm going to try and figure it out when I get all this stuff done, and I actually start working on my app, this guy. I'm gonna spend a good bit of time trying to figure out that kind of idea and how to do that. And I think, like off the top of my head, I think it might be something like the React prop called dangerously set inner HTML. So, I mean, I could probably do it in this right now, but I gotta stay focused. I gotta stay focused, and I'm embarking on this massive side quest of doing this goofy project right now. I wouldn't say it's goofy. I think it's gonna help a ton in the future, actually. What's my usage at right now? Not too bad. But yeah, that's cool that you've seen that discussed though. I hadn't heard about it yet, but I don't really listen to a lot of dev stuff, to be honest. Like in my mind, I'm like, I wanna have unique inspiration, like inspiration based on my own experiences, not like the ideas of others. But at the same time, I could be falling behind in stuff. So, all right, let's figure this out real quick. So there was another bug when I went to, like, I just say I pushed 8 right here. Well, I want to fix this actually. Currently, when I start a new work tree, it automatically gets added to the recents list view. I only want recents to be in there if there has been code committed at least locally, if not even pushed to remote. The new items shouldn't show up there if it's just a bare new instance of a work tree. Also, disable the click functionality of those for now because I don't know what I want that to turn into. So let's go in here and go to preview. Okay, so it's still running. So now I can like go into this one and view it more. All right, I want to be able to resize these so I can kind of see more of what's going on. Because I'm envisioning like working like this, right? Those that learn AI and embrace it will be the new learn to code gang, I think. At the end of the day, it's a next token generator, a best guess based on available information. Yeah, I mean, yes, right? It's guessing. I mean, yes, I agree. Let's go. The thing about AI and coding and just AI in general, and I've talked about this like in real life conversations a lot. AI only knows what we know or what humans currently know. Like, so it cannot and will not know how to solve unique problems. Yo, what up, 57? Payushtar? It's kind of a cool name. What up, dog? Which is kind of the inspiration behind this B2C app that I'm building. Because I'm pretty passionate about unique ideas and not AI generated BS ideas. So like, I hate when people post content on social media and it's like 5 new ways to generate sales, and it's like it's not their unique ideas. You can tell that someone just opened ChatGPT, gave it some few basic prompts, and then came to like, and then posted about it, right? Just trying to get views. So this kind of like gives the creator a responsibility to come up with their unique idea first, whatever they're talking about, give it talking head, and say they come up with their own idea, like why you shouldn't use AI to build your whole software stack. And it's like the 5 reasons. And then that would post to all the other platforms and then come down here and post that same kind of thing to LinkedIn, but more polished, but it's based on your unique insights and your unique post up here. It's not just like randomly generated. Because there's another app, I'm not going to say what it is. There's another app where you can generate ideas on the fly. And I just don't like that. I don't think that's integrous. That's my own personal opinion though. Others might not share it. Who knows, who cares? It's really good from an empty folder making TypeScript app. Throw it at a 30-year-old ERP system that's been running a billion-dollar company and tell the execs to allow it to do whatever. Yeah. As a project manager or product manager, I really love the fact that you're problem oriented rather than some random project. Hey, I appreciate that, dude. Uh, if I loathe anything, it's when someone goes and creates another to-do app. I saw this guy online the other day, and he's actually pretty big in like the AI and coding and whatever space. And he made, oh god, it pissed me off so much. He made a lovable clone and like posted about it and lost his mind about how it worked and how close it was to the original. And like no unique idea about it. Like it wasn't anything, it was nothing unique about it. It was just like, hey, make a clone about this. And it got so many impressions, dude, and so many views. And it's like, dude, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone because I'm not. You know, I'm dog shit compared to some developers and some problem solvers and whatever. But I think that's where true expertise lies, is seeing a problem and then being the one to figure out that problem either on your own or, you know, facilitating it through someone else or gaining external opinions and stuff like that. But I appreciate your comment anyways, though, because it's like I do think that I want to solve unique problems. I don't want to build something that's already been built before, with the caveat that I'm building something that has already been built that I have to pay for, that I no longer want to pay for. Like that's the caveat. Because like, for example, but I'm not going to, yeah. So for example, Whisperflow, and Quigago was actually here for like the very beginning of this. So he probably knows what I'm talking about. Whisperflow, I was like talking to it and I ran out of like the monthly usage, which was like 2,000 words. And so I just went and created my own Whisperflow, but I don't talk about it. Like I don't care. And I want to actually open source it so people can use it. And it's like, don't roast me on how fruity it is. I said, I had it go clone a website and it turned out like this, and it's very cute. And I didn't mean for it to turn out this way, but I'm too lazy to go change it. Anyways, like if you do a clone, just like shut the fuck up. Like just be quiet about it. No one cares. I don't know, bro. I hate these to do app. I feel like these guys just simply go out there and chat GPT and it's just like, give me a cool product. Yeah, I hate that, dude. I hate that. I hate it. Make it unique somehow, like based on your own experience. That's where true expertise lies, I feel like. It's just my own personal opinion, though. All right, so the next thing I want to do in this is make it to where I can click a button and it takes up the whole available view, like the viewport. In web terms, it would be viewport 100 or whatever, based on the container that it's in. So let's try and do that so that when we go to preview, we can like view everything in there. And then after that, I'm going to try and do maybe API, maybe docs. Oh, API would be the next hard one. Yeah, so let's try and do that real quick. This guy. That just had a massive brain fart. As far as the worktree cards go, I want them to be expandable to where if I click the expand button, it takes up the entire available view and becomes larger. Basically maximize or minimize back to default height. But we do need to take into account the different viewport sizes based on if the window is big or small. And we need to take into account if there's more than one card maximized. I think maximize is the right word. Also, I don't know, maximized makes me think of Maximus Decimus Aurelius, and now I want to watch The Gladiator, the original one. The second one was okay, but I want to watch the original now. Such a good movie, dude. I haven't seen that in a couple years. There's a couple movies that I'll like watch on repeat every year, like once a year at least. But yeah, now I want to watch that movie, dude. Sorry if I'm bugging you a lot, but can you please share some resources where I can learn how to do some vibe coding, as I come from a business background. I want to learn to make some RAG type project. Ooh, a RAG project? That's a good question. I haven't really done anything with RAG, so like I wouldn't know. Let me think about that. I know a couple of dudes that are popular, but I don't know how good they are. And so it's like I don't want to like suggest, like point you somewhere where it would be like a dog shit experience. Like my first thought would be I think the first thought would be to like work in your mind towards what outcome you want. Like, what do you want to have happen at the end of whatever it is that you're doing? And then work your way backwards from there. That's kind of how I work. It's like, okay, what do I want to have happen at the end? I want users to be able to, when they ask a question about X, they get an answer about Y or whatever. I want to answer users' questions. And then be like, okay, well, what if they ask a question? Yeah, so I think that's where I would start, just like figuring out what your goal is, and then how to automate with AI or whatever everything along the way backwards. There was someone else in here earlier that wanted to do a RAG project. Yeah, Passion. He's working on that. I haven't really done anything RAG related, to be honest. Yeah. Why did it make it white? Ew. It'll probably change the styles here in a second, yeah? Like, I know... Where'd my commit button go? Yeah, there's actually another guy named Chase. He's on School, though. School.com. He seems like a good dude. I just don't know, like, how much they actually know, you know? His name's... There's a guy named Nate. I think he may teach some RAG stuff. This is free. Classroom. Like, he might have... Let me see. Does he have RAG? Understanding memory types. He has a lot of free... This guy has a lot of free resources. You can honestly get open code to use BioPickle. Oh, Big Pickle for free and build something. You'll learn a lot. Maybe not worth shipping, but most things people build aren't worth shipping, myself included. I agree with that last part. just talking to it, you'll learn a ton and figure out along the way. I also agree with that. And that's what I was saying earlier. Is like figure out what you want at the end and then work your way backwards, and you're going to learn so much more than, I mean, here's one right here. Well, this is it. This is N8N, which is old. But the robot will teach you more than a video or course. I think the doing will teach you a lot more than a video or a course. Obviously, it's good to get like some baseline. Yeah, these are all N8N templates, which you don't want. I don't know. There's this guy. There's, I think it was like Chase AI. This is Chase AI Plus. I thought he had a free one though. He seems to be pretty knowledgeable. I don't know, dude. I think figure out what you want at the end and then work your way backwards and kind of figure it out as you go along. You can learn anything on YouTube University and, you know, ChatGPT University, to be honest. All right, so that cooked for me. Let's click this and see what happens. Did it do it to all of them or just the one? Just the one. All right, that's not bad. It's bigger than before. I appreciate it, dude. We're just we're kind of just getting started, dude. I don't know. I like to code by hand. I like to use AI. I like to solve business problems. I like to build products, and I like to talk to people. So it's like, why not kind of stream and meet some new people along the way? All right. So we have marketing. This is a little better. You can like kind of view what's going on. Web, which is the app. I wish it was a little bigger. I mean, I said 100% view width, viewport, or I said view width. Maybe I should have done view height. So what happens when I do 2 that are open? It just gets bigger. So what happens when this window is like kind of smaller for someone with a smaller screen? Okay, it resizes. Okay, I don't hate that. That was slow rendering, but that's kind of cool. I like that. What happens when we go big like this? I wish it was a little bit bigger. Can we make it a little taller? But there's a lot going on here too. There's a lot going on here. Make it slightly taller in height. We'll go there, and then we'll call that a day on that one. Also, there was a bug. So when I have 8 open, whoa. Let's say when I have 8 open, and then I close. When I close 3 of them, so now it's not, there's only 3. And then I go to new and then back, it defaults back to 8. So I want to fix that. When I have any number, oh, sorry. Let's start over. When I have a selected number of work trees open from the number selection, and then I close n number of work tree cards manually. Then I navigate to new project and then back to the work trees. It re-adds the ones that I closed and defaults back to the number that I clicked to begin with. It should remember how many were open the last time I opened that project. So say I had 3 projects in there, and the last time I opened project A or project 1, I had 3, and then I go to project B and I had 4 open in there. When I go back to project A, it should have 3, and then, and so on and so forth. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Also, Quigago, how clickbaity, I don't know if you saw it, if YouTube shows it, like when I'm streaming, or if it just shows like the first page or the first view that I started streaming on. But how clickbaity was what's it called? The thumbnail image of my the stream. Is it? Oh yeah, it does. with the Greek god dude. I felt so gross making that like really quick right before I started stream. I literally made that like 3 minutes before stream. Let's see. Downloads. Fable 5 image. I downloaded it at 9:17 and I started stream an hour and 40 minutes ago. Yeah, I started stream at 9:20 and I downloaded this at 9:17. I'm a degen, dude. Bro, it's true. Like, it's a pretty good image though, I'm not gonna lie. Or it's spammy. Let me see, where is it? I just had it open. It's pretty spammy, dude. With the Claude Code as like the shit behind Mary's head or whatever, like in Catholicism. Super clickbait, dude. Oh god, I felt so gross putting this back there. It's like sacrilegious or something. I will say though, like Fable 5 is goated. It's really, really good. I noticed a big difference between that and 4.8. 4.8 is still great. And so when it goes back to 4.8, I think we'll be fine. I'll be fine. Like, I will not use Fable 5 in API because I'm not paying for it. Zero chance. Zero chance. Hey, it's whatever it takes. I guess so, dude. I'm just not that kind of guy though. Like, I don't take life too seriously anymore. Like I used to. And then like my life drastically changed about 2 years ago. And it's just like, dude, it's not that serious. And you know, maybe that won't get me very far in business or whatever, but it's like, hey, if I take myself too seriously and I hate myself, I'd rather be poor, honestly. I'd rather have a good time with the homies and than be a tight ass all the time. What did I just ask it? Oh, there was that. What's it called? Someone in chat might know. What's it called when you'll have, let's say something like, oh shoot, is that literally there? It is. You'll have, say something like this, and it's empty, right? And you'll have like these. Maybe you'll have obviously they're like aligned, right? But like you'll click this one and then drag, and it colors these, say like green. Ah man, green. Like you click and drag, and then when you drag over here, it creates, like it'll fill up all 6, right? If you click and drag and hover over them, I guess. And it'll like indicate 6. And then you click on the last one. So you click on this one, and then it'll create 6 of whatever it is that you're telling it, like the underlying thing. That's kind of what I want to do right here. Like have a little thing where it's like you'll hover over it and you want to do 6, so you'll do 3 by 2, and you click and it'll do 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. Oh yeah, 1 2 3. Or if you wanted to do 9, that's like overkill though. I think we should like gate it. Also, that might be hard to do like responsively as well. Like, cause this is 8, but it's like 1 by 8, right? Because of the viewport. But if I maximize this to what y'all can see, at least like right here or something, it's 4 by 2, right? So that little thing right there would have to change dynamically based on viewport as well. So yeah. So this view, it would show, 3 by however many I wanted to offer. Let's just say 3. And then this would be like 2 by 5. Like 10 is the max, let's just say. Let's just say 10 is the max. And then this would be 1 by 10, I guess. I don't know what that's called though. I don't know what like this system is called. Someone in chat's gonna be like, ask AI. It's like, yeah, I could do that, but do I want to? I'm trying to remember the last program that I used that had that. Someone in chat's gotta know what I'm talking about. No? Am I flying solo out here? I'm probably flying solo. This is looking better than we first started though. It's like a grid system. Let me just give this to ChatGPT. Or to come here. No. You stupid bitch. Desktop. No. You out of here, we gotta go ahead. Thanks for pulling up, big dog. I always appreciate your insight into shit. Good hangs, brother. Have a good night. I'm probably not going to be here for too much longer, to be honest. Also, I did this. I wanted to see like how close it could get, like UI-wise, like on V0. And it got really close. So this, like, everything that wasn't, obviously try and think of like the words and the arrows and boxes not being here. And I was like, hey, do this. And so I gave it this image and it got really close, right? Like, I don't think I changed too much more. You obviously can't see this anymore because I changed it since then, but yeah, I did this, which you can see right here, has a start stop, which is now over here, has these guys, this feature, chore, fix, branch name, save. Yeah. Oh, that the pill that hovers over it. So like this is the project. I only have one project in here, so you can only see one. But in the future, it'd be cool if you could change the colors on these. Now that I'm thinking about it. But anyways, that was a side rant. All right, let's try this again. shoot. Instead of the number system for the work tree viewer, I want it to be a grid system, to where when a user hovers over the grid and clicks any number, it will add or remove work tree cards based on whatever number they clicked. This grid should be dynamic and grow or shrink based on the viewport and the available mobile responsiveness. So on views where it's maxed out, it should not ever have more than 10 available, but say it's on a view where there's only 3 wide for mobile responsiveness, it should then be 3 by 3, then it defaults to 9. But say there's only a view, or the view gets smaller to where there's like 2 cards side by side, so then it would be 2 by 5. And if it's just 1, then it would show as 1 by 10. Maybe. Open to suggestions on the UI so it doesn't look cluttered. Oh yeah, we literally just said the same thing. PU. Payushadar, is that how you pronounce that? Yeah, we said the same thing. That'd be a good idea though. Color code these projects. I only have one in there right now, just because this is very new. I've been working on this for a total of 4 hours. 2 hours yesterday on stream, an hour before I went to the gym today, and then however long I've been working on it now. So what is it? 2 hours now? Okay, so 5 hours total. Yeah, I've been working on this for 5 hours total. But yeah, it's a great idea. The next thing I want to do, because right now, this currently, when I click the plus button, it initiates a new wizard, like a setup wizard, for something else I've been building like the other days on stream, which is like this app code, which is this, like this landing page. Very opinionated stack for SaaS that has lots of built-in features so that you can get from 0 to 90% SaaS in like, well, before this it was like 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. But now this whole wizard helps you clone, set up, get it locally, and deploy it to potentially production, but definitely staging in like 15 minutes. But so the next feature that I'm going to build in here is just to import a project or start a new project, not based on a template. So it's an Indian name. It's pronounced something like Piyush. Oh, nice. Piyush. Sick. Are you stateside, Piyush, or are you overseas? All right, what's this little cutie doing? When it's done, dude, I'll let you know. I mentioned on earlier streams that's like, I don't really have a monetization plan for Launch Soku, or for this that I'm building. So let me know, dude. Like I'll just like let you use it and shit. Like I don't really care. You are yeah. But are you in India currently, or are you like somewhere else in the world? You're probably in India, to be honest, because I don't know many more psychos that are up at 11:14 p.m. watching some random dude code. Wait, where did I? Okay, cool. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but like, let me know. When I'm done with this, and definitely when I'm done with like the actual app code over on this side, I'm probably gonna give it away to like 50 people for free, just to like help me make it better and stuff. So yeah, I'll let you know. But I think it could be really helpful for a lot of people, you know, to get a really good head start on good software architecture. Okay. Got some rendering issues. You're in India? Okay, cool. Never been to India, to be honest. I grew up in Southeast Asia, but I never made it over there. I've been all over like, that's like the right side of India, of Asia, but not nowhere left of Laos, I guess. To be honest, I'm in the office and nothing better to do. Thanks for the offer, man. I appreciate you. I want to test as a user if needed. Oh, passion. For sure. Yeah. Like literally anyone, dude. Like probably everyone thinks that I'm BSing. Okay, what is this doing? Okay. Oh, sick. I like this a lot. Dude, I like this a lot, actually. So it shows me what I am now. I was envisioning it just like kind of growing. So what happens? I like this a lot, actually, dude. That's dope. The Indian PR in the US has been abysmal. Oh, dude, I feel bad. Yeah. This is sick, dude. Well, it should, because I said 10 max. So it should have added 2 more over here to do 5 by 10, or sorry, 5 by 2, because I said max 10. But I bet if I went out like this, it'll do, yeah. Is that right? 5 by 2. Oh no, it's right, because it did 4 by 2. Yeah, that's right. I did it right. I'm actually wrong. How dope is that, actually? So for y'all that were thinking I was crazy when I was writing this is, oh, sorry, you guys can't see it. This is what I was envisioning the whole time. This little cutie over here. The grid actually is sick, dude. It's so dope. And it shows me the sessions. It's a little small, can't really see it, but yeah, that's dope. I like it. I am a fan. I'm a fan. I did say that I don't want those in there earlier. For the recents view on the sidebar, I only want work trees to show up in the recents if there have been code changes made to that work tree. These need to be committed changes. If there are no commits on that work tree, it should not show up in the recents tab or in the recents view as list items. Yeah, the Indian PR in the US has been abysmal. Yeah, for sure. Feels bad, dude. Feels super bad. I live in, actually, question. This is actually a good question. What's the most popular place in the US for someone who lives in India like you? What would you say is like the most The place that you've heard of the most. Oh, you got to hop on a call? All right. Peace, brother. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you around. After this is done, I'm probably going to bounce, to be honest. Maybe. I could stay up, honestly, dude. I could stay up doing this shit until 4 a.m., but I also have to work tomorrow, so I don't know. But passion, yeah, I'll whenever this is ready, I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know, dude. I'm just a chill, goofy guy. The most popular place would be LA or Vegas. Okay. I got you. Cool. I thought it was going to be somewhere else, but the Sphere is so cool, dude. I went to Vegas in September of last year, maybe October, something like that, and I saw it in person for the first time. It was insane. The meeting in like 15 minutes. Oh, okay. I got you. Cool. Well, feel free to bounce if you need to go, dude. But I appreciate you hanging out and chatting. It's great to meet you. All right. Well, I like this a lot. This grid system is dope. Very, very dope. Should merged work trees remain in recents as history or disappear once? Should merged work trees remain in recents as history or disappear once their changes are in main? Ooh. Disappear once their changes are in main. This whole recents view is probably going to go away. But I don't know. We'll keep it for now. Main. To be honest, US is very well known here. Even Arizona and Texas area places that Indians know because of the movies and shows. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm actually in Texas. So I thought that you were going to say Frisco was one of like the most popular places because I live near Frisco. I don't live in Frisco. I live like kind of a few cities north. But apparently, and maybe you can tell me whether this is true or not. The story or the not story. There's a theory. Theory? I don't know if theory is the right word. Many people in Texas, in Frisco, this area, have heard that some prophet or religious figure in India said that Frisco area was like blessed and said that anyone who moves here would be like blessed. And so people like, there's a lot of Indians that have moved here, to be honest. Some people aren't okay with it. Some people are. America was literally built for that, for people to come and have a new life. And so I think if you do it legally, that's great. But some people even said that there's like billboards in different places in like India and stuff that say like move to Frisco. But I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, couldn't tell if it was true or not because like I've said, I've actually never been to India at all. Should squash merged branches also disappear, or is standard git ancestry merge deletion sufficient? Standard. Standard methinks. I like the idea that each of these terminal windows have their own preview connected to it. And I can make it bigger, which is perfect. I forgot I asked it to do that. So now I can go and look at the web version and it's big. Yeah, it's dope. This is sick. I'm going to start using this for myself very soon for my own project. So this is going to be ridiculous. Haven't heard about that, to be honest. I'm Indian. As an Indian myself, I want to say illegal immigration is bad, super bad. You can't barge into someone's country without proper documentation. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it, dude. Like, I grew up overseas. I grew up in a different country. And so, like, I wouldn't say, yeah. And so, like, but we did it legally, obviously. I think if you're trying to, obviously some people are more fortunate than others, right? That's just a fact. Some people in some countries are just more fortunate than others and are able to have an easier life or whatever by default. And it's not hard to access certain things. And I understand that it's hard for some different nationalities and some different people groups and stuff like that to have ease of access to more free countries and stuff like that. I do think that our immigration laws could use some help as far as like making it easier for the good guys to be able to come in, you know, and have a good time. But I agree with your sentiment, is like, at least try and do it legally, you know? But again, I can't speak to how hard it is to do it, to try and do it the correct way, because I've never had any issues with that. So I don't know actually how hard it is. And I'm sure it's very difficult to get, I mean, I know it's very difficult to get a green card in the States, at least. Even to get a long-term visa is hard. But for example, for me, right? I lived overseas and it wasn't hard to get a visa, but it was annoying. And there was at one point I had to leave the country and come back in every 60 days. So I would leave the country, have to leave for like 2 days, a day, depending, and then come back in and go back to my house, right? And so it's like, even though it was unfortunate or hard, I still had to do that, you know? And I could have paid to have like a longer term visa, but at the time I was poor. And so I couldn't do that. So I just lived near a border and drove 45 minutes out of the border into a different country, got a temporary visa there, stayed for a day, came back in. So it's like, I think I have some kind of experience and authority, kind of, to have an educated opinion on this. But that's just my 2 cents, dude. All right, homies. Well, I'm going to commit this. Well, actually, I don't even have a repository for this yet. But I'm going to save all this work. I think I'm going to call it a night for this. I appreciate everyone hanging out, watching me build this live. I think it's going to be super sick. The next thing I'm going to build tomorrow for this is like the API testing, because this is the local host. It just goes to this health endpoint just to show that it's working. But tomorrow I'm going to build something like Postman. I think I might do this. I'm not sure yet. But I think building something like Postman would be cool inside of here for people to test their own API endpoints internally. So I think that's on the docket for tomorrow. But I appreciate y'all hanging out. Peace, fam. I hope you have a great night, great day. Wherever you are in the country, be blessed.